Well, welcome back to the Scottish International Open here at the West Lothian Indoor Bowling Club. Sadly, we've been downed by a power cut, which has taken place. It hasn't affected the main arena. It has, however, affected our broadcast area. So we're nice to be back with you. Paul Foster and Mark Dawes. Mark Dawes with the advantage of the opening set. He leads by 6-5. He's lying at the moment, and Paul Foster is just trying to draw. It just looks a little bit heavy for what he wanted. In fact, I thought he might have had a little run, but I mean, there are obviously many gaps there. It's going to be one ball still to play. And Paul Mitchell, Darren Burnett, is alongside me. It's been a tough couple of ends for Paul Foster.
Yeah, it has been. He played a great ball the last end with his last ball to draw a cracking shot, which kept him in the set. Unfortunately here, he hasn't put his greatest end, and I'd be surprised if Mark doesn't add another one now.
Doesn't necessarily want to move that jack too far.
Yeah, two shots though. It's a
two shots.
Two to pick up.
Right score 5-8 after
So 2 ends to play. Paul Foster needs 4 shots.
Yeah, and that's the difference. That big 2 there just creates a little bit of gap there for Mark. Important Paul scores this end, obviously that's the priority, he has to score it. But he'll probably want to score a double, really. He's he'd ideally like to score a 3 probably, but at least if he scores a double, gives himself a chance of getting another one at the last end.
So Mark Dawes leads off with the lead, looking to reach his first Scottish International Open final.
Good opener.
Paul Foster's one of a number of players who are about to fly out to Australia. He's got a busy time ahead of him, and he's got a busy time to try and finish this one off.
Right, just decision time here, but he could go a little bit quicker at this. That's what he's trying. Is he giving it time to bend is the problem. Gonna get one of them, I think. Well, helps a little.
Yeah, it becomes a slightly different game at this stage where you're trying to engineer jobs, not just to win an end, but to actually get, as you mentioned, that 2 or the 3. It doesn't help when your opponent does this.
Mark's played a really good end of balls. Just at the right time as well.
Paul Foster needs to come and have a look at this, because this looks like the classic. You got to hit it and then find a way.
Yeah, it's not going to look good for them. Promotes his own.
Well, we're delighted to have our BBC audience back with us. We apologise, there was a loss of power, not in the venue, but in the satellite area where our broadcast equipment is, and that took us off air, so we're sorry about that. We're delighted that you are back with us, And the state of the match is this. Mark Dawes took the first set by 9 shots to 8. He's currently leading 8-5 with 2 ends to play. Paul Foster is in a heap of trouble. And Paul Mitchell, Darren Burnett is alongside me. And Paul Foster's going to have to try and work some magic.
Yeah, he's got a match lie against him basically, so he's got 1 ball left to save this match. He must score this end. He must get something out of it. Mark's played a fantastic end of bowls here.
Yeah, that's the situation that is facing Paul Foster. Doesn't make it any easier either.
Well,
Paul Foster's just having a shake of the head and a smile at the crowd as if to say, come on Mark, didn't help me at all.
well, the only thing is, Mark's 4 bowls are all relatively close together, and this might be an occasion where Paul just decides to come at this really quick, and just hope he gets a fortunate connection, and gets 3 or 4 of them. I mean, all of the bowls of Mark's could go, and Paul's going to lose some of his own as well, but I don't really see much other option other than to drive into this, try and wipe these bowls of Mark out the head.
He's going quick. He's looking. He's wondering what's going to happen here.
Well,
Oh, he's done enough, I think.
he may have got the shot, keep the match alive.
Mark Dawes is just having a little look. This might require a measure. But Paul Foster, well, has kept it alive.
1 shot, Paul Foster. Set score 6-8 after 8 ends.
Well, you'd still rather be in Mark's position than Paul's, but he's given himself a chance here with 1 final end. He needs a 3.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was almost the shot I probably spoke about. He didn't have much options. He was just trying to run into that head and hoping he got a good connection. And the run through of his own bowl managed to secure him the shot. Part 1 done. Going to be hard to do part 2, I think.
Back length 29.
The sequel's
meters.
rarely as good as the original. What he does need is this to be right beside the jack.
Yeah, and he's just underplayed it. Be disappointed, Paul, with that.
At this stage, if you're going to miss, you're going to miss through, and he'll know that. He has had any room for error removed.
Well, still room. It's the only positive Paul can take from the first 2 bowls is there is still room. He needs to get into this one. Yeah, this is a good correction.
Looks better. The margin for error now for Paul is almost non-existent.
Yeah, and Mark doesn't have to score the end. So what he'll be trying to do here is draw as close as he can to Paul's. Just make the room that Paul has available to add to the tally more difficult.
Well, ideally from Paul Foster's point of view is you want to get in here, and if you are going to lose, make sure it's your opponent that has to play something really good.
Yeah, nice, well played. Just going to be unfortunate and sit off it. I think Mark will maybe run this now. Looks an inviting target to run into. 1 good strike. Yeah, he's played this, I think. That's going to eliminate Paul's opportunities of a 3, I think.
That is a toucher in the ditch.
I mean, Paul's line 1, but I don't know how he makes a 3 because his 2 short bowls are miles out the play now.
Yeah, it's almost getting to the point where you're thinking if I hit this, it hits that, and I stay. And when you start to get to that,
Yeah, he doesn't have much available. His only real opportunity is to kind of run down and promote his own, hope it stuns across, and then he runs through with a runner. It's you could probably try this about 100 times and not get it. I mean, it's but there's nothing else on for him. You know, he has to probably run into his nearest ball to the tee, push it through, hope he gets a bit of luck, and then his own runner has to somehow follow through and stay on the rink. It's definitely a 1 in 100, maybe less than that.
It's a big ask. What can he do?
Just going to get the underneath of it.
Yeah, he's gone underneath. It is all over. It is Mark Dawes who will take his place in the Scottish International Open Final of 2025. And Paul Forster, a three-time winner of this competition, bows out at the semi-final stage. Gracious handshake and words of encouragement to his opponent. It's been a good morning for Mark Dawes.
Yeah, it has, and he's doing good match play, Paul. I think that's the key. He's even in sets when he's maybe not playing quite his best, he's getting over the line, and that's the sign of a top player. I think as the match grew, Mark got better and better. I think Paul was probably the more consistent player in the first set, but Mark getting that set, I think, gave him a lot of confidence, and then in set 2 he seemed to find his game that we know Mark can play. So yeah, it's a good win for him. I knew it would be a tight match, and the 2 sets were tight, but Mark's yet again showing his class just to go over the line.
Yeah, not a lot between them. 9-8 in the first one, 8-7 in the second. We'll hear from both players in just a moment, but it's a nice moment for Mark. He's had a bit of success coming along the way, but his last title came in 2022 with the UK Open, so he would just be delighted to be back in the final.
Yeah, and absolutely. You come here this morning, you've made the semi-final, everybody's quite buzzing about that, and you can play this morning with a bit of confidence.
So Mark Dawes will face his first Scottish International Open final. He's joined Jack down ringside.
Thank you very much, Paul. Yes, I'm joined here by Mark Dawes. Mark, congratulations.
Thank you.
A tough match though, very, very close, especially the first set.
Yeah, just managed to play a couple of really crucial last bowls that kind of kept me in it. I was just scratching around a little bit. Paul was probably deserved to win the first set, but a couple of really good balls managed to get over the line, and that's massive then because it gives you a chance in the second to regroup and just try and push on.
How do you use that advantage? Do you have to sort of completely reset yourself moving into the second set, or is it starting again?
It's absolutely starting again. Yeah, particularly the way the first set went, where I dropped a couple of stupid ends. So I was kind of just trying to cut that out of the game, really, to give myself a chance. If it was 1s and 2s, I've got a chance because I'll pick up 1s and 2s. So yeah, it was reset and then hope. Give yourself a chance at the end of the set to then hopefully either nick a tie or a win.
And Paul's such a formidable opponent as well, especially sort of the last set of the last shot of the seventh end. How did you feel when sort of, he sort of made that shot? Did you still think you had to dig deep?
Yeah, I think at one point you're thinking, I could be off here. If he misses, he's not got a great shot, but he just had to hit the target. Got a result, and you're thinking, oh, he puts 2 right on it. Suddenly you're then starting to worry about it. So I was glad when my first runner hit it on the last end and left him with no shot.
And today will be your first appearance in a Scottish Open final. How do you reset yourself now for later on?
Yeah, good question. Not been on the third day, never mind in the final. So yeah, I think I'll just go away, get something to eat, and then try and get cool down a little bit, and then come back ready, focused for the final.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you a little bit later on. Mark Dawes, thank you very much. Come on, ladies and gents, put your hands together for Mark Dawes. Now, coming up a little bit later on, we have got our next semi-final match at 12 o'clock. Stuart Anderson versus Sam Tolchard. At 2 p.m, our Scottish Young Masters final on the live stream. And at 4 o'clock, the Ambassador Cruise Line Scottish International Open final with Mark Dawes. But who he will be against, we'll find out a little bit later on. Thank you very much for watching. And one more time, Mark Dawes, everybody.